345 West 15th Street by Allen Ginsberg. I came home from the movies with nothing on my mind, trudging up 8th Avenue to 15th, almost blind, waiting for a passenger ship to go to sea. I live in a rooming house attic near the Port Authority. An enormous city warehouse, slowly turning brown, across from which old brownstone fire escapes hang down. On a street which should be Russia, outside the Golden Gates, or back in the Middle Ages, not in United States. I thought of my home in the suburbs, my father who wanted me home, my aunts in the asylum, myself in Nome or Rome. I opened the door downstairs and creaked up the first flight. A Puerto Rican in the front room was laughing in the night. I saw from the second stairway the homosexual pair that lived in different cubicles playing solitaire. And I stopped on the third landing and said hello to Ned, a crooked old man like Father Time who drank all night in bed. I made it up to the attic room I paid $4.50 for. There was a solitary cockroach on my door. It passed me by. I entered. Nothing of much worth was hung up under the skylight. I saw what I had on earth. Bare elements of solitude, table, chair, and clock, 2 books on top of the bedspread, Jack Woodford and Paul de Kock. I sat down at the table and read a holy book about a super city whereon I cannot look. What misery to be guided to an eternal climb when I yearn for 60 minutes of actual time. I turned on the radio, voices strong and clear, described the high fidelity of a set without a peer. Then I heard great musicians playing the mahogany hall. Up to the last chorus my neighbor beat on the wall. I looked up at the calendar. It had a picture there, showing 2 pairs of lovers, and all had golden hair. I looked into the mirror to check my worst fears. My face is dark but handsome. It has not loved for years. I lay down with the paper to see what time had wrought. Peace was beyond vision, war too much for thought. Only the suffering shadow of dream-driven boy 16 looked in my eyes from the centerfold after murdering high school queen. I stripped, my head on the pillow, eyes on the cracked blue wall. The same cockroach or another continued its upward crawl. From what faint words, what whispers, did I lie alone apart? What wanted consummation, what sweetening of the heart? I wish that I were married to a sensual, thoughtful girl. I would have made a wedded, workman-like tender churl. I wished that I were working for $10,000 a year. I looked all right in business suits, but my heart was weak with fear. I wished I owned an apartment uptown on the east side, so that my gentle breeding, nurtured, had not died. I wished I had an aesthetic worth its weight in gold. The myth is still unwritten. I am getting old. I closed my eyes and drifted back in helpless shame to jobs and loves wasted. Disillusion itself was lame. I closed my eyes and drifted, the shortening years ahead. Walk home from the movies, lone long nights in bed. Books, plays, music, spring afternoons in bars. The smell of old countries, the smoke of dark cigars.